Before we get started with the course, I want to talk with you about how to watch the course. In fact, not just this course, but really any Udemy course, and you thought you already knew. First, let's talk about the things that I'm going to cover. I'm going to show you how to speed up video play so you can actually watch a course in half the time if you want, or to slow down video play if you're not being able to keep up with a very fast speaker. I'm a fairly slow speaker, so you're going to be speeding up probably. We're going to talk about how to leave notes on the timeline. These used to be known as bookmarks. What they are is they're little places where you want to reference and go back to. So you can put little names and labels onto the timeline and go back to places in the course at any time quickly. And then I'm going to stress the importance of doing the section projects, and we'll conclude with how to contact your instructor. I don't really do Q&A anymore. I don't have the time on Udemy, but there are ways to contact me if you have important questions. So let's begin with the first topic, how to speed up video play or to slow it down. As you're watching a course, you'll notice down in the lower left-hand corner there's this, in my case, a 1x, because I'm watching this course, Self-Publishing Process, or this lecture, at 1x speed. But notice that I can watch at half speed, I can watch at 1.5 speed, or 2x speed. Now, if I watch a course or a lecture at 2x speed, I'm going to watch it in half the time. One of the things I like with slow speakers like myself is to watch a course at 1.5 times. I find that I can keep up and I save myself a lot of time by doing that. It keeps you from getting bored. Now, what I recommend is that you maybe watch a course once fast to absorb the entire process, like 1.5 to even 2x speed. Just blast through it really quickly. And then watch again slower, maybe at 1x speed, and pause periodically so that you can follow along with the course. That's one of the recommended options. Or just watch at 1.5 speed and pause often to perform along with the lectures. The next thing I want to talk with you about is leaving notes. This is a really cool feature. You can put little notches on the timeline, and then you can look at where you've put all your notches and you can jump to them quickly to go back to a place in the course that you found interesting. You can even see other students' notches on the timeline and jump to there. So as you're watching a course, you'll notice these little things. Notice over to the right of the screen on the timeline, the red bar shows the progress through the course. These little gray notches, these are things that other students have left on the course, notes. Now, I'm also making a note at this point. The easiest way to do it is to pause the video and then to click down on the little make a note icon just below the timeline. That will pop up one of these windows, and you can format and leave a note and then save the note and then go back to it later. It'll leave a little gold mark for you. Now you have up to 1,000 characters to describe your notes, so you can be fairly detailed. Now, as you watch the video, the red progress bar will continue, but notice a little gold bar is left behind. If I just put the mouse over it without clicking, the note will pop up and I'll be able to see what note I left that location. Now wait, it gets even better than that. Notice the little Notes tab down below. If I click on the Notes tab, I can actually see all of the notes that I've left in the course. For example, here in the introduction section, section 1, lecture 2, self-publishing process, I left a note at 47 seconds in to the lecture, and the note was sample bookmark. Now, if I click on that, I will go to that location in the course. So you can see all of your notes that you've put in a course by clicking on the Notes tab. Isn't that cool? Next, I want to talk about the importance of doing the section projects to solidify your learning. Each section concludes with a project. This is a textual project, and it just describes something that I'd like you to do and practice so that you can solidify your learning from the lecture. Now, when you're done with the project, you should submit it to the Q&A section of this course for review and comment by your fellow students. I personally no longer have the time to scan the Q&A section and respond to projects, but I'm going to show you other ways to get in touch with me if you need to. So here's how you submit your projects to the Q&A. You go to the Q&A and you're going to see all of the projects that other students have left. Now remember, this is a public forum, so you're not communicating just with me, you're communicating with all the students in the course. You can search for projects and Q&A discussions, and you can go down and open them and read them and respond to them. The other thing you can do is notice this little Ask a New Question tab. If I click on that, it's going to ask me, do I have course content? That's what you want to click, so it's about the course. If it's something else, they're going to ask you to submit a request to support@udemy.com to resolve your issue. But if you have course content questions, go ahead and click course content and then say continue, and they'll give you a form to fill in. So you can fill in a title and you can fill in the details. If it's a graphics course, now this course is actually a video course, so you're a little out of luck. But if you take a snapshot of a graphic, notice the little graphic icon here. You can even include graphics in your Q&A posts. Now, the final thing I want to talk about is how to contact your instructor. Once again, I don't really have the time to respond to all of the Q&As and so on and messages that people send me in Udemy. But I do have a Facebook support group, and I recommend that you join it. Lots of discussion goes on there about products and answering questions, and people submit their writing and their book covers and the various graphic projects they've been working on. So I really recommend you join the group. You can also email me personally or privately if you just want to talk to me myself at brianjjackson@gmail.com. And with that said, we're done with the introduction and we're ready to jump into the meat of the course. The next section is going to be about character animation. I'll see you there.